afternoon and welcome to BizTech Asian Midday Market Watch. It is the 8th of September and we have with us Kian, CEO of Astral Asset Management, coming to us out of Singapore. Kian, it's always great to have you on the show.
Good afternoon.
Now, Kian, before we get your insights, we're going to take a look at how crypto markets are performing and then how regional stock markets have performed. Now we start with Bitcoin, which is at 26,315. It's up 1.94%. Ethereum is at 1,649. It's up 0.61%. Looking across to regional stock markets, first of all, Hong Kong is not trading today due to a storm. So we start with the Straits Times Index. The Straits Times Index is down 0.04%. We have the KLCI, which is down 0.29%. Shanghai is down 0.4%. The ASX All Ordinaries is down 0.47%. The Nikkei is down 1.48%. And rounding out the numbers, we've got the Kospi, which is down 0.65%. Kian, it's a sea of red today. Why is that?
I think there's no surprise, given that the handover from the US markets was also negative, and I think the sentiments have today has spread to Asia, the negative sentiments. Yeah.
Kian.
Yes.
Given the negativity around the US itself, there's also, however, positive, and that is also prompted by the rather strong employment and PMI numbers in the US. Are we on track perhaps for a rate hike in September?
I think the interesting thing is the market's eyes was on the recent economic data that was published, as you mentioned. The US ISM Services PMI for August actually surprises on the upside. It was 54.5 versus Bloomberg consensus of 52.5, and it was also higher than July numbers of 52.7. And this marks the highest reading since February this year. And, there were basically improvements across the board. We see that the prices was also increasing and employment numbers was good. And then if you look at the US beige books, which, sort of give a hints on the retail as well as consumers spending patterns, basically there's continued growth. We could see that the growth for the retail side has slowed down slightly. But overall, it paints a picture that it's unlikely to have a U.S. recession this year, and a lot of analysts has actually revised that the economic growth of U.S. is likely to even surpass 2% for 2023. So these are all good news, and I think from the Fed's angle, they definitely have ammunition to look at at least holding the interest rates constant at the current levels to fight inflation. Right, it's a bit of tension, right? While if the economy is strong, there's no need for them to jump into the bandwagon to reduce interest rate quickly. At the same time, if the economic inflation continues to be strong, the US Fed has to continue to take action, and therefore they have some spare bullets to either increase interest rates in September or looking at the last hike cycle towards the end of the year.
Now, on the same note, then staying on the US, we've had a correcting of perhaps the tech sector over the last couple of weeks. Are we looking at that correction being extended moving forward?
So if we recollect what happened in United States tech sector, Nasdaq was trashed last year. This year there was a huge recovery brought upon by the AI basically mania, where a lot of the tech companies that are related to artificial intelligence research, following the release of the Microsoft AI engines, etc., have brought a resurgence in all the tech stocks that we have seen so far. I guess the last few weeks has been interesting because prices no longer goes on the upward trajectory trend. Now we are seeing some price corrections. And as we know, if you look at the indices, right, the main increases in the indices was led by 7 to 8 companies, tech companies that are related to AI. And I think the recent trend or the recent event that Apple stocks corrected pretty significantly was because I think the Chinese government has announced a ban for all their Chinese government officials on the use of Apple phones or overseas phone. This is an interesting development that happens last few days, and I think the impact is still the implications and the impact for this measure is still out in open.
And that's really going to, I'm sure, have a significant impact moving forward, because obviously this is also partially to not only from a security perspective, but also to spur development of their own chip industry and their own ecosystem itself. Kian Soon, thank you very much for your insights. Thanks for coming on the show.
You're most welcome.
Now, we've been speaking to Lee Kian Soon, CEO of Astral Asset Management, coming to us out of Singapore on BizTech's Asian Midday Market Watch. I'm Brian Fernandez. Check out this show on our website, www.biztech.asia, as well as our syndication partners, TV stations, radio stations, and websites. Thanks for tuning in.